It's Marina, hosted by Captain Mike Anderson and Captain Dylan Hubbard.
Good morning, Tampa Bay, 970 WFLA. Talking fishing, going to be here until 8 o'clock.
Unfortunately, only till 8 o'clock.
It is unfortunate because we have so much stuff to cover.
We have such a quality radio show.
We do?
I think so.
What channel's that on?
I feel it's this channel, bud.
This one?
Yeah.
All right, well, that's because...
I have confidence.
Because we have Jason Behringer.
Yeah. It makes us sound pretty.
JB can pretty this thing up a little bit. Hopefully.
If anybody can,
that's
Jason Behringer can.
Great, JB.
Yeah.
What do we have for weather, my brother?
It's looking a little sporty this week. It's definitely picking things up here over tomorrow. Tomorrow. It's Sunday already. Man,
it's
I don't
Saturday.
even know what day it is.
Today's Saturday.
I realized that now.
Sunday. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm picking it up. I thought it was Friday.
You pick your day, buddy. You're a big guy.
There.
We'll let you
waking
run.
up.
We'll let you run with it.
It's looking a little sporty starting tomorrow, a little bit. It was, yesterday when I did the report and was looking at the weather, Sunday looked bad as of Friday. But this morning, Sunday's actually calmed down. It's only 10 to 15 now. It was like 20 to 25. So definitely has calmed down. The forecast is looking okay tomorrow, but that wind is going to pick up, so a little bit moderately breezy. Monday does not look good. It just straight up does not look good. We're going to get a line of showers Monday morning. Going to be real breezy, cold front moving through. Wind's going to shift out of the north. So Monday's not good into Tuesday morning, but it calms down pretty quickly Tuesday. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday look great. If you're trying to get out in the water, I would say your best fishing is going to be the second half of the work week. Today's pretty good, though, and tomorrow might be okay, too. Right now, we're on the backside of a first quarter moon. The full moon is coming up Friday, so a little bit of a weaker tide through the weekend, but those tides are going to start speeding up for us Tuesday, which I think should help us recover from that cold front even quicker. As those tides speed up and we have more water flushing, it'll clear up the bay a lot quicker. So I'm hoping Wednesday, Thursday, Friday look really good. Friday's directly on the full moon, which can sometimes be a little bit finicky.
Yeah, for sure.
But we have bad weather coming in potentially Saturday and into Sunday. So
Friday could be prefrontal.
Exactly. So
that might be a bonus.
I'm thinking Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are going to be the hot spots, hot days. And today's pretty good. Tomorrow might be okay. And I would avoid Monday, and Tuesday could be like a 50-50 shot.
For those people who really like to stay on top of the weather, what are the apps that you look at? Where are you getting your intel?
The very best that there is to offer, in my humble opinion, would be our Hubbard's Marina weather links. If you go to hubbardsmarina.com and click fishing trips, second one down is the weather links page, and those are all the links and tools that I use to check the weather. Kind of all in one place. I like Windfinder. Windfinder is a great app, but it uses the GFS model, so you have to keep that in mind. So sometimes I'll look at the Windfinder app, and I'll also look at Windy, because Windy is fed by default by the Euro model. So looking at both forecasts give you a good idea of what the forecast is going to be. But if you go on our weather links page, the tool that's really cool that I use a lot is the buoys. And it's right on our weather forecast page. You'll find the buoys, and there's one that's labeled the buoy at Egmont Key. And if you go to that, it's actually a wave forecast and real-time monitoring one, and it'll show you a red line and an orange line. The orange line is the Euro model, the red line's a GFS model, and then it shows a blue line of what's actually happening. So it's really cool to use that because you can see what the forecast is calling on both the Euro and GFS, so basically Windfinder and Windy, and then it shows you where what the actual weather is doing now compares to the forecast.
Oh, wow.
Because sometimes the forecast is calling 3 foot and it's only 2 foot out there. So it's good to know kind of how close the forecast is, or vice versa. Sometimes they're calling 2 foot and it's actually 3 foot.
Right.
So it's good to know using these tools. So the Weather Links page is really, really good stuff, and we work hard to keep that updated. So I would say that's my go-to spot.
Love it. We need a Hubbard's Marina app for our phones, what we need. Our weather update brought to you by our good friends at Reese Windows and Doors, Florida's leading window and door company, over 50 years now in business. Free installation, most windows and doors installed in 6 to 8 weeks. They only use in-house installers, no freelance contractors. Double lifetime warranty, which I love, means you never pay for warranty. When you sell your house, the warranty transfers to the new owners, which adds value to your home. Visit reesewindows.com for more information.
Good stuff.
Yeah, kind of a funky week on the water this week.
Yeah, cold fronts, man. It was like wintertime again.
And the water temp kind of reflected it, and the fishing kind of reflected it too. It was just a very, even yesterday, I struggled to get a bite going, and when I finally got the bite going, it was very odd. It was some decent trout, and my guys who were pretty fishy, some of the bites were so soft. Mm-hmm. Like a couple of the guys were just standing there talking and didn't even realize they had a fish on. Like the fish would eat it and just
mouth
sit.
it.
Yeah. They weren't really. And then we got into some mackerel, and the mackerel would, almost ripping the rods out of their hands.
Yeah.
So it was a very weird bite. I talked to a couple of guys, found, some schools of redfish that they couldn't get to eat, super skittish, just very, wouldn't sit still.
I have a question for you. I was thinking about this as I prepared for the fishing report. I mean, through October, November, December, January, February, you have the peak redfish time inshore. People are hunting the redfish. They're more aggressive. You're catching them, but they're not really super concentrated. You don't see those big schools. This time of year, it starts to transition, right?
Yeah.
The redfish aren't as aggressive. They're not super crazy, but you start to find those concentrations of redfish. They start schooling up more. And if you find that school and they're feeding, it's really good.
So here's what I think happens, and this would be my bet. I haven't put my eyes on that school of fish yet. Here's what happens, and I think people...
Ryan Rickard hasn't told you where they are.
Exactly. Well, it's not, I know where they are, but when we get a new school of fish, okay? Mm-hmm. Let's say you're at Tarpon Key, big redfish, spot for many, many, many years, okay?
Let's pretend we don't know where Tarpon Key is.
Down around Fort DeSoto.
Okay.
Okay? Just off the intercoastal there. It's on your map. So let's say you're at Tarpon Key and boom, giant knot, a couple hundred fish shows up there. Usually, I can tell pretty quick if it's a new school.
Like they just came in from offshore.
If they just showed up from offshore. So they're making the transition from being in deep water to all of a sudden now they're in shallow water. Every pelican, everything that flies over spooks them, makes them real nervous. They're not very settled in. Usually they're bright orange. They haven't adapted yet, possibly to the color, the way fish get, lighter on the beach and all that stuff. They transition in the shallows the same way. Mm-hmm. A new school of redfish, to me, is really, really tough to get pinned down. Even if you're super stealthy, you got the wind at your back, you see them a long ways out, that school can be very, very hard to catch. It's a new school. Doesn't happen that way all the time, but I would say probably 80 to 90% of the time that school's not going to go, crazy and just chew the bottom out of the boat.
Those new schools, if you're fishing up in the bay, away from areas like Tarpon Key, if you're fishing like Whedon, you're not going to run into those new schools, though, right?
Yeah, for sure. They can swim all the way up the bay, right up the center of the bay, and pick to stop at Whedon Island first.
Okay. So even no matter where you're fishing in the bay, you can run into those
absolutely. You could be at the bulkhead. You could be at the bulkhead. You could be at East Beach. You could be, all the way up the bay. If you notice, a lot of big schools of redfish will start. And a lot of guys have figured this out. A lot of those fish will start at Egmont. Mm-hmm. They'll show up at Egmont, and all of a sudden there'll be a wonder knot. Mm-hmm. There'll be a wonder knot of fish at Egmont. They were on their way in. They stopped there. There's, especially around the moons, there'll be a lot of fish there. They'll be feeding really good on those big tides. The problem with Egmont, I found them during tournaments years ago. You'd find this giant school of redfish 3 days before the tournament and think, oh, my God, we're in them. This is amazing. This is awesome. And then the day of the tournament, you go out there and there's no fish. Mm. And the problem with big bodies like Egmont is if you look at Egmont, even on the map, if you just satellite it, you've got big water everywhere.
Yeah.
Those fish drop off and get into a tide and just get a boogie in their keister, they're out. Mm-hmm. It's not a good spot for them to sit for 2 weeks. We used to get schools that got up on Tarpon Key or over at Conception or on the bulkhead.
If I was a school of redfish, I wouldn't hang out at Egmont very long either. I've seen the sharks.
Well, good point. That could be part of it too.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying it and a lot of it depends on what the tides are doing. And a lot of people look at the tides during the day because that's when they're on the water. Mm-hmm. Look at your tides at night. What's happening to those tides in the middle of the night? And I learned that from Captain Jamie Goodwin. When I'm like, dude, where did these fish go? And Jamie will immediately pull up his phone, try to figure out what that tide did that night. Sometimes you find a big school of fish on a Wednesday and you have a massive negative low at 2 o'clock in the morning. Those fish had to move. The other thing that gets affected is your water temp. Big time when you have those big tides in the middle of the night because now you have no water. That cold air is making that ground really, really cold. That water comes back in. That earth is still super cold. So that water on that flat's freezing cold. They don't like it. They drop off. So there's so much that goes into it. You know, it's very technical. Now, I say that, and you can overthink it sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you get into, I have a young angler that I'm working with who I know is not up listening now, but he drives me a little nuts right now because he overthinks some stuff so bad sometimes that he gets himself in trouble.
Yeah.
I'm like, stop overthinking it. We were going to catch bait on Friday. I had a trip, and he had a trip. We had fished together during the week. He had made it for me during the week. And I was like, he was like, where are you going? I'm like, well, I know it blew yesterday. Thursday blew the top off, right? Mm-hmm. Super muddy. Sometimes that can booger the bait up. It can move it around. You don't know what's going on. I'm like, listen, I'm going to go where it was, and I'm going to start my search there.
Yeah.
So went to the South Pier, 9, 10 foot of water, 11 foot of water. It's been thick.
The South Pier at Fort DeSoto?
The South Pier at the Skyway.
Oh, okay.
Skyway South Pier. Beautiful day. Make the run, no big deal. I get down there, and he calls me. He's like, hey, are you marking it down there? I'm like, yeah, I'm almost done. Mm-hmm. Like, it's thick. I didn't even have to chum. I pulled up right where we've been getting it, and it's stacked 6 feet off the bottom. I'm throwing a 1/4-inch, 10-foot net. It's easy. He stopped for some reason in 20 foot of water and marked it and decided to throw. I'm like, dude, why would you do that? He's like, well, I was thinking. I'm like, there's your problem. You started thinking. Don't overthink it. Sometimes you can overthink it. And again, maybe you stop there and you get it.
I wouldn't say sometimes. I would say a lot of
times. But go right to where it was before the blow. The chances are it came back there, especially when you're dealing with something like the bridge and bait. That bait comes that light at night. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So even if it blows and you notice the water's dirty, and sometimes it can be detrimental. I was having that problem yesterday. We were struggling to find fish in that dirty water on the flats. You know, there had been trout here and trout there and trout here and trout there, and I'm trying. Nothing's going on. The water's dirty. I finally pulled into a place. I'm like, well, the water's dirty here too. We threw baits out and caught fish on, just about every other cast. So it's just kind of, sometimes you can overthink it. It's just painful sometimes. So, I don't know.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, Jason Behringer's going to make us overthink this break if we don't take it.
Yeah, better.
Yeah, for sure. So, phone lines are open here, 1-800-969-9352. The Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show. Let's talk fishing. Questions, comments, fishing reports. Bring them right here. Light them up. We'll be back.
For more information about contests on this station, go to
Yeah, poor Josh. My mate, it's like, stop thinking. Overthinking it. Now, sometimes sometimes that thinking about stuff can really help you out, but sometimes you can just overthink it. We're just catching bait, bud. If you go to where it was and it's not there, now it's time to start thinking. Like, where the hell did it go? What's up? Until then, just start your morning. Go right where you were getting it yesterday or 2 days ago. Start there and then figure it out from there.
Did you see Holly was doing her real talk thing? She uses, what's his face a lot? EFC. We just saw
Ryan Harrington?
Yeah, Ryan. Yeah. She uses Ryan a lot.
Good.
It's good for him.
Yeah. I just sent him a trip yesterday. Sent him a couple tarpon trips.
Tarpon season is upon us.
Won't be long. won't be long.
Rating is over 99%. Their no downtime guarantee means they help keep your crews working on site with super fast order add-ons to help you finish the job. Order accuracy, quality products, and a no downtime guarantee. Just a few reasons contractors keep coming back to Tri-County Metals. Visit TriCountyMetals.com.
Having trouble finding a plumber or an electrician you can trust? Is clean, honest, trustworthy, reasonably priced, and shows up on time? Captain Mike Anderson here for Titan Plumbing and Electric. My friend Joe Gennaro is the owner, and I've known him and his family for over 15 years. When Beth and I were getting work done on our home, he was the first person I called because trusting the people working on your home is everything. Call Titan Plumbing and Electric today at 813-933-8010. Yourself with thousands of customers already know. Titan Plumbing and Electric is a company you can trust.
Oh, yeah.
TitanPlumbingAndElectric.com.
Stop overthinking shit. Let me know when you're home so I can make a check.
So he was listening?
Cody, that was Cody. That's funny. He's trying to get we're trying to get some electronics on order for him. That's funny as shit. Oh, yeah.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Obscuro and start listening.
Obscuro.
Now your captains, Mike Anderson and Dylan Hubbard.
Shingle, metal, tile, flat roofs, it doesn't matter. Our friends at Affordable Roofing Systems are by far your safest choice for repairs or replacements. Over 3 decades of roofing experience, let Affordable Roofing Systems guide you through this important process. They're defined by integrity, respect, honesty, have a professional approach to doing business. Give them a call today at 1-888-397-ROOF for your free estimate or visit them online at affordableroofingflorida.com. Got a chance to do a couple of podcasts Thursday. Super excited to get those out. Our good friend Jacob Kent from KO Boatworks. I thought was really, really interesting. Kind of deep diving into the skinny water culture, the skiff world a little bit. Was actually out last night. I got my KO back from Sanchez Brothers Marine Fabricators. Had a backrest put on her, a little folding backrest. So super comfortable. Super comfortable. The older you get, you need those. Yeah, you'll need.
I was thinking it.
You'll need one someday.
Didn't want to say it,
I
but-
saw your eyes roll. I knew where you were going. Jack Wagon.
It's good. It's good you know me so well.
This week's Jack Wagon of the week is Dylan Hubbard. But also we had a really great conversation with Captain Gene Hammond, Lines of Liberty, deep diving into some military culture stuff and all the great things that he's doing over there with veterans. So look for those to drop here in the next 2 weeks. We're getting some more cut here soon. So the podcast things are going well.
Nice. Real Animals podcast rolling.
Yeah, we're rocking and rolling. Actually available on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google Play, ritampabay.com, Spotify. So we're kind of rocking and rolling with those. Remember to subscribe, rate, and review if you do like them. That helps us out a bunch. And they are presented by our good friends at Contender Boats. So very cool.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, I had some cool people on the boat this week, too, from Visit St. Pete Clearwater, one of our new partners here at Real Animals. And super, super cool people, man. Really cool. They were in town from up north. And
The Great White North.
they showed up in shorts. I was like, Yeah. This is
You know how I know you're from Minnesota? Minnesota? You don't even have to say anything.
yeah, you can be a little chilly.
Uh-huh.
You can be a little chilly.
Yeah,
this
it's always
morning.
comical to me in the mornings when we're getting ready to head out on the trips and it's 50 degrees and you can spot the locals versus the tourists.
No doubt. It was funny. Even last night, I brought the KO home and was getting her scrubbed down, and I said, hey, you want to splash the boat in the river here and go for a ride? We'll watch the sunset and, get some dinner after that. And wife said, yeah. Shorts and a tank top. I'm like, baby, I love you. I don't think that's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. And then like a dummy, I got in the boat and forgot my sweatshirt.
You were just giving her a little bit of heat.
A little bit like, no, that's not, you're gonna be cold. And I'm like, oh boy. And as that sun was creeping down, you could feel it. I'm like, ooh, this is gonna be a cold run back. But all good.
What's your go-to spot on the water?
Go-to spot? You mean to eat?
Yeah.
Boy, that's a good question. We're up there on the Alify, so there's a couple restaurants on the Alify. I don't even remember the names of them all.
Yeah.
There's like 3 there
There's
on
that
the
many.
Alify. Yeah, there's like 3 right there from where we put into the mouth of the Alify. There's 3 that are all pretty decent right there.
Nice.
Friendly little places. They've got places that you can roll up and get a burger and they're all decent.
Yeah.
So
It's always fun to go to restaurants on the water.
I'm a big fan of like the Wharf and Red, White, and Booze down there. Used to be Sea Critters.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are. I mean, just because you can pull up by boat and the food's pretty decent. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of a fan. What about you?
There's so many good ones. I
There
like
is.
VIP up in Reddington.
Really?
Got a nice area.
So you gotta go up-
Wahoo's.
That's going to
a
be
good one.
up on the Narrows somewhere, right? Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Little intercoastal run north.
Yep.
I get it.
Yeah. I mean, Krabby's on the Pass used to be a big destination for a lot of people by boat, but
Yeah.
unfortunately their dock is donezo, and I think they're trying to rebuild. I'm not quite sure. They haven't done much there yet, but there's a lot of good places
There really is.
down there in like Paso Grill that it's escaping me, but that restaurant's really good on the water, right inside there as you come in Paso Grill on the left side up into that channel.
That's going to be the Wharf and Sea.
The Wharf,
Yeah,
that's
that's
it.
the Wharf.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I was going to say, you said Paso. I'm like, there's only 2 right there I can think of. And that's where Red, White, and Booze is right next door, which is kind of nice because when we pull in, we're like, we're not totally sure where we're going to go, but you got 2. Oh, there's dock space over here. We'll go over here. You know what I mean? So I like those, though. I mean, that's always a great day on the water when you get on the water, do a little fishing in the morning, then stop in and get a bite to eat, get a grouper sandwich. I send a lot of customers over there,
A lot of good fishing over there,
A
too.
lot of good fishing, real good fishing, good water flow right there at Paso Grill. That bite's been actually pretty good in the past, from what I've been told. A lot of big trout and mackerel and stuff right there in the past already.
Pompano?
I haven't seen any yet. That doesn't mean they're not there. I haven't fished for them.
Yeah.
You got to have the right customers if you're going to throw pompano jigs around my head.
Yeah.
We'd rather it be a really good customer. So, again, we're at the bottom of the hour here. Short break. Phone lines are open. 1-800-969-9352. We had our celebration of life for Captain Billy Nobles there on Tuesday. We'll talk about that and other stuff on the other side. We'll be back 970 WFLA.
From the local Lexus dealers, WFLA.
When you said the Wharf and Red, White, and Booze, I was like, oh, the Wharf sounds familiar, but then I was assuming they were still talking about the Alify.
Oh, no,
Yeah, it threw me off.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, that's
The Wharf, my father-in-law loves that place.
Yeah, it's it's pretty good. I sent a lot of people there.
Crocodiles are not as common in Florida as alligators, and they are classified as a threatened species. Wildlife experts say they are shy and non-aggressive. Experts warn to never feed crocodiles or alligators in the wild. The Jaguars
What's it
are trading
called?
wide receiver Christian Kirk to Houston for a 2026 seventh-round pick. Kirk is in his final year of a 4-year, $72 million deal.
Charismatic megafauna.
Yeah. Well, crocodiles wouldn't be a charismatic megafauna because I believe they're invasive, right?
Are they invasive?
I mean, crocodiles aren't native, I don't think.
He just said they aren't as. I don't know. That's where I got it from. Tim from the Fisherman's Hut. I wonder if that's Fisherman Tim. Captain
No,
Tim.
Tim is the slow pitch guy. Fisherman's Hut is the slow pitch jigging tackle shop down there in Bradenton.
But who's Tim?
Tim is a fishing guest of ours. He called into the show a couple weeks ago.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he
So
does
it's
slow
not-
pitch jigging.
Okay, it's not the guy that used to call in from the trade winds. Well, that's good. Oh, Ron's Tackle Box. We haven't heard from him in a couple weeks.
All right. So crocodiles are native to Florida. They're much less common than alligators. The
what that guy
American
just said.
crocodile is found in the southernmost parts of the state, primarily in coastal and saltwater habitats like mangrove swamps.
Everglades, yeah.
Florida is the only place in the world where both alligators and crocodiles exist. The American crocodile is threatened due to habitat loss.
I'm okay with that.
I didn't know we had native crocodiles. All right. Learn something new every day.
Yes, sir. Good Lord willing. Oh, officer involved shooting.
Egyptian Shriners has a saltwater sportsman series fishing expert.
Who's doing that today?
I don't know.
Who's putting that on?
I just
'Cause
asked who's speaking.
I talked to Doug. My buddy Doug is a big Shriner. He was telling me about. He was like, "Are you at the Shriners thing tomorrow?" I'm like, "I don't know anything
I think
about
CCA's putting it on because Brian Gorski sent out an email about it.
it." I did not get an invite.
Neither.
I'm okay with that. Wouldn't have been able to do it anyway. I'm at Mahoney's favorite place today.
What? Shriners?
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
More fun when you're in on the action. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details.
Listening on the free iHeartRadio app, thanks to Farrah and Farrah. It's never been easier to send your opinions directly to your favorite show. When you open the app, click the red talkback microphone and hit send. Farrah and Farrah, here to make it easy, Tampa.
Hi, I'm Benny Jr. with Bartow Ford. Everyone has heard me speak about going the wrong way. But let me be clear, the wrong way means the
We got Beth a new ride this week too.
Oh, yeah?
So we did Wednesday. Yeah.
What'd you get?
She got a Volvo
Volvo.
XC90.
Oh, those are nice cars.
Nice, yeah, really nice. And you know what? I mean, price-wise, they're like an Explorer.
Really?
That's what I
Well,
said.
Explorers got crazy expensive.
Well, everything's crazy expensive. They're all crazy.
We when we were in Colorado, we rented a car and we were supposed to get a Wagoneer because we were looking for enough for 8 people. And the rental car company talked my father-in-law into getting an Explorer, and I was like, really? But it was way nicer than the Wagoneer, and it was huge. And the new Explorers, all the technology in there, it was a nice car.
Well, I mean, I get it, but I didn't even think, if you said Volvo, I kind of thought BMW pricing, you know what I mean? Like high-end sports car. But it's a really nice ride. Really
Yeah,
nice.
they ride smooth.
Oh, man. And, the safety ratings through the roof. They have like a massive, Volvo and Subaru are the two safest vehicles on the road.
Cody is awake and listening.
Oh, yeah. Cody's awake. We know.
He said Rivers Edge and Beer Shed.
That's it, Beer Shed. The Beer Shed's good. River's Edge is good too. River's Edge is you can get a little intimidated when you go up there initially because it's a very popular biker spot, but cool crowd.
Yeah.
Like super
Cool bikers.
Yeah, cool bikers. Yeah,
not
really
not
cool.
the worrisome bikers.
No, yeah, no. I mean, but when you first roll up there, you're like, how's this gonna go? You know what I mean? I mean, just you're like,
No, trust me, I was a bouncer at a biker bar.
I mean,
It was always questionable when
Yeah.
a new crowd showed up
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
didn't know.
right, like, okay, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
Everybody just having fun, kick back, or we got to be rowdy and
yeah.
I
The,
gotta toss
the
it
first
in.
bar I was ever a bouncer at was a biker bar, and it was also on a swamp. So people would show up in airboats.
Oh,
So you had bikers, you had airboats, you had big, huge F-250s, 350s, lifted trucks. It was like the most redneck bar. Whenever there was a fight, there was always a knife or a gun at some point. So it was like, it was not if, it was when. It was always interesting.
I bounced.
So I enjoyed moving to the college bars after that. It was much less eventful.
Yeah, I was at Frankie's Patio. I bounced at Frankie's Patio down in Ybor. Back when Ybor was safe. Welcome back. 636 here at the iHeart Media Empire. Don't forget to check out our good friends at Relentless Perpetual Edge Knives. RelentlessKnivesUSA.com is the website. Great new knives on the market. Cutting edge technology. Sharpens as it cuts. Game-changing stuff. RelentlessKnivesUSA.com is the website. Let's go to the phones here. Phone lines are open. 1-800-969-9352. Let's check in here with Tim at the Fisherman's Hut. Tim, how are you this morning?
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you doing?
We're good.
Doing good, buddy. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, man. Talk to me. What you got?
I am headed down to Holmes Beach at Bean Point to go throw our new pompano jigs right now because I am not able to get out on the water the way I want to this weekend. So I'm going to take advantage of this new micro jigging as I can.
Yeah, I have a question for you. You have all those micro jigs, and you recently went out on a 39-hour, did pretty well out there, and then came back and immediately left on the 10-hour with all those micro jigs in tow. How'd you do on that 10-hour? Did you get some lanes or some mangroves or some hogs on those micro jigs, or mostly the grunts and the porgies?
I actually ended up with some good mangroves on them, believe it or not. I'll be honest. The little kid next to me is about 7 years old. Was stroking the hogfish back to back, so it's kind of hard to get down there. But most certainly, those pompano jigs, you can just drop them and jig them, 5-10 feet off the bottom like you would a regular jig, and on the 5 and 10 hours, they'll produce some decent fish you can take home.
What's
That's
a
awesome.
micro jig?
Sub 80 grams. But I'll let
So
Tim
it looks
answer
just
that.
like the other.
It's a slow pitch jig. It's
a
just
slow
super
pitch.
small.
So it looks like the other slow pitch jigs, just small, tiny.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not your conventional goofy jig where it's just a weighted hook with a teaser. It's an actual jig itself with an assist hook.
Okay.
Boss Diogo pulled this style of jig from where he's from in Brazil because they fish the nearshore reefs for permit and pompano with them, and they used a lot of these flamboyant orange colors to mimic the mussels and the shellfish locally. And since it's been brought here, I've that's my number one go-to micro jig. So I'm out there throwing it constantly, and everything I'm catching's on it. So I'm giving a good report.
Is that what you're going to use for the pompano today too? Then.
Yes, sir. We have
I gotta have
a
a
guy
picture.
named.
I gotta see these.
Yeah, can you text me a photo? I'll show Mike, Tim.
You got me.
And we have them in our shop.
We have
them in our shop, and we
I don't
sell
have one
a ton
yet.
of them.
I don't have one. You should have brought me one. I could have
messed up.
felt it and touched
I
it.
will
I'd have-
most certainly set you aside a package where you can get some. That's a
I would like.
deal we can.
I'm an artificial
I'll text
guy.
you the address, Tim.
I'm tripping a little bit on that. That sounds cool, bro. That sounds great. Like you and I need to get together and go fishing, dude. Man.
Oh, I'm 100% game. As soon as I get a moment to myself, we will be out and about.
I like the way you roll. That sounds really cool, man. Sweet.
Yeah,
There.
that's awesome, man. How was the bite offshore on the slow pitch jigs on that 39?
I'll be honest, man. It was a little bit slower, especially at first, but around midday, the following day after the night fishing, I cranked up on it. I got into some amberjack. I actually got real close to a keeper red grouper. They weren't biting as hard. I got a couple of real nice mangroves, and I mean, this is 15, 16 inches where I wasn't kind of expecting it to rip as soon as it hits bottom. They were very fired up, very aggressive. Again, I like using the red and golds this time of year, and it wasn't as productive as I liked, but it definitely was more productive than some of the bait fishermen, so I was fortunate to have it with me.
That's awesome, man. So kind of midday-ish when the bite slumps a little bit, that's when those slow pitch kind of picked up for you, huh?
That's what it seemed like whenever they were ready to start switching over from whatever they were feeding on. Bite started to kind of kick up on me, so I kind of took advantage of it while I could.
Yeah. In your opinion, on the slow pitch side of things, do you need a slow pitch rod, or can you put those on a normal, typical rod?
Oh, man. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The not-so-slow pitch, you can jig a jig off the bottom with an old Zebco if you want to, and it's going to work. Those fish get fired up for the jigs. But if you want to get into it entry level, the Fisherman's Hut has some good options. I know you at the bait shop there have some really nice slow pitch rods. If anybody ever needs to go pick them up. And it's getting to a more accessible point in the market where you're not just stuck to one option or another.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of options out there. But if you're, oh, man, I forgot my slow pitch rig at home. I got this little spinning rod. Well, let me go out on Hubbard's. I'll stop by their shop and pick up some of these micro jigs or some of the lighter jigs. You can definitely get it done.
Yeah.
I would assume if you're pompano fishing off the beach, that's probably what you're using anyway. Something, 7.6 medium, fast action tip, I would assume, right?
Yeah, mine, I actually run a 710 Bull Bay Banshee with an Authority.
I love the
and
way you talk.
it's a little bit heavier of a rod.
Love the way you talk. Well said.
Exactly.
Well said, Tim.
My
Wow.
favorite.
Absolutely great call, brother. Love it. Keep those calls coming.
Yeah, we
great
appreciate you,
report,
buddy.
dude. Yeah, that's killer. You got me all fired up this morning. I'm ready to go fishing. Love it.
Absolutely.
All right, my friend. Stay in touch with us. Good call.
All right, guys. You guys have a great day. I'll put some jigs aside for you.
You're my hero. Thanks, Tim. Love it.
See you,
I
buddy.
gotta meet that guy. Dude, he's a
Fishy cat.
That's I was thinking the same thing.
I beat you to it.
That's a fishy cat right there. He was,
And he's really ate up with the slow pitch side of things.
Yeah,
Like he
that's
started
cool.
fishing with us. He was bait fishing, learning the ropes. Then he got really good at it. Then he transferred into the slow pitch side of things, and he's so ate up with it. Now he's linked up with Diogo at the Fisherman's Hut, and he works there full time. And he's kind of Diogo's right hand man, so he's knee deep in
What's
the
the
slow
guy's
pitch
name?
jigging. Diogo Yamada,
Diogo Yamada.
owner of Fisherman's Hut.
That's a cool name, bro.
Yeah. All
Diogo
the slow
Yamada.
pitch guys are like that.
Is that what it is? That's a
Yeah.
cool name, bro.
Alan Coe at Ocean's Legacy. Yeah.
That's cool stuff, bro.
Yeah.
Mike Anderson. Boring.
Yeah. A very white person.
Yeah,
name.
very. Yeah, my parents went way out on a limb. They got really, really busy trying to work on that bad boy. Let's check in with Ron at Rod Stack Box out in beautiful Lake Alfred. Ronnie, how are you?
Doing great. It's on out here. This is the time of the year. Everything's
bet.
spawning.
Nice.
Big bass. This year, the biggest thing I've seen is right at 11 pounds.
Ooh.
It's a big fish.
Real nice fish, but I've seen several of them. A lot of 8 to 9s, plenty of them out there. Big bluegills, big shellcracker, big crappies. It's been a great season.
That's
so the
awesome.
weather worked out just right for the fish, and everything's thriving.
Sweet. Love it.
Good water flow? It's been a little
yeah.
it's been a little rainy.
A little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
A little
We're
bit of
good.
that.
We're
Yeah.
good on the water. The biggest fish, didn't get caught on the booyah, but it got caught on a shiner, of course.
Cheaters.
But, yeah, I know. That's okay. And, I sell domestic shiners, and they work just as well as the wild. You get people from the north, people train them to have to use the wild, but the domestics work just as well.
Domestic meaning like farm raised?
Yes.
I gotcha. I was watching. My son is big into YouTube now, and I'm trying to get him off of these like silly YouTube families and more into like the fishing YouTubes, because then it's interesting for me to watch. And a lot, I would say 90% of them are freshwater oriented, because that's the more accessible side of things. And this one, he was using shiners, and it was crazy the fish he was catching. It was like Instabite. He'd throw the shiner in on a bobber, and it was like there was no cut in the film, so like it was clear it was one whole thing. And he maybe waited 30 seconds. It was nuts.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It works great. But when they're feeding, which they are, because right now they're staged, some are staging, some are spawning, and they're looking for the food. So they want something decent. Or if you drag some kind of a critter, like a lizard or a crawdad, something big and flary around that bed, they're going to kill it.
Destroy
or a
it,
snake. If you have a big worm, like a 14-inch worm, a snake is a threat to the nest, so they want to get that out of there. It works real well.
Reactionary bites. Got to get him mad.
I don't like snakes
Mad
either,
at
but I
it.
never thought about eating one.
Yeah, bass do. You'll cut one open, there'll be a snake in one of them. You'll see.
Oof.
It's amazing.
That's awesome. I would love a big bass explosion. That was one.
That's the best. Bro.
One
a frog on the top. Oh.
Yeah, one YouTube video we were watching yesterday, it was topwater explosions.
Oh.
I was antsy.
Yeah.
By the end of it, I was shaking. I was like, this is the best video I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Tough to beat that topwater explosion,
Yeah,
no
I have
doubt about it.
some old Doug Hanna snake heads. They're like a rubberish type snake silhouette that you put on your line like a slip sinker, and you put a big worm behind it, and you run it across the top fast. And that they see that when they're looking up, and there's like a snake going across the lake. They got to nail it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I want to go bass fishing today.
This whole morning, this whole segment has been full of crazy.
The weather's beautiful, man. It's great out here.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
What the bass side of, or I mean the snake side of things, you see those snake ones, but like iCast, for example, Savage lures, they always come out with those wild lures, and they have the little baby duck and the rat.
Yeah.
Is that similar? Like they're just eating the duck because it's a threat?
Right. The snakes especially.
It's
Snake
What
over
I've learned
duck.
through the years, they want to annihilate a snake.
very
Is that like one of those things where you're like you see those $300, $400 huge like swim baits that people throw in fresh water?
Right.
Is that similar? Just big bait, big fish. You're throwing You're not going to catch
You
a
can put
2-pound
together-
bass on a snake.
You can put together a pack of worms and a couple heads and things for, under $10,
Yeah.
and you're fishing.
getting the same result.
But what I was saying is like you're throwing that big $300 lure. You're not going to catch a 2 or 3 pound bass. You're going to catch that big dog.
Well,
Is that similar?
You could.
Okay.
You will catch small fish, but if there's a big fish in the area, that big fish will make the effort for that meal.
I gotcha. But on the snake, like if you're throwing a 10, 12-inch snake, are you going to catch that 2 or 3 pound bass, or is it
Sure.
big fish only?
Yep. Both of them.
Huh.
Aggressive.
Both of them.
I like it.
Aggressive young males. Love it. Love it. Like a 20-year-old. Get that snake out of my
Full
house.
of piss and vinegar.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Tell everybody how they can find you out there, Ronnie.
Right, I'm at 380 South Lakeshore Way, which is 1792 out here in Lake Alfred. Phone number 863-956-4990.
You're the man.
You are.
Looks like I'm never going to be able to retire. Yeah, it's terrible.
We love you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm heartbroken for you, but happy for us, if that makes any
There you
sense.
go. All right, I appreciate you guys.
We love you, brother. Be good out there. Have a great day.
See you, buddy.
Ron Shelfo, what a great cat he is, man.
Yeah, that's another cool name. Ron Shelfo.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Well, we can't play that name all day. We can't play that name all day. I lose every time.
Yeah.
I lose. Yeah, just boring, boring.
I'm going to keep bringing that up now.
It's just
Now that I know that it bothers you.
dud. No, it doesn't bother me. It is what it is. 56 years. I got it down. It's all good. By
You've
now,
accepted
yeah, by now
your mediocrity.
I'm over it. Yeah. I think last year about this time, I just went, okay, I'm good. Finally got over it. We're up against the clock here. I would take another call. We got our good friend Tom Saxton out at Pirates Point Resort. We're going to hear from him. And then we've got our Visit St. Pete Clearwater Safe Boating Tip of the Week. Captain Jim Fogle going to join us as well, as he does each and every week. Hopefully you guys will join us. 1-800-969-9352. We're talking fishing, the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show. We'll be back.
20 years, Ace Heating and Cooling has been the name you can trust in the heating and air conditioning business in Hillsborough County. Chris Myers and his... He sent you pictures. They'll send you jigs.
Really?
For sure.
Okay, I got to play with those.
Morning, Rick. Morning, Chris. Morning, Earl.
First self-sharpening knife that actually sharpens as it cuts. Ultra-hard carbide, never rust titanium blade, and a true grit glass reinforced ABS handle on a knife that is perfectly balanced. Comes in 5 great models to choose.
What's up, Paul?
Tampa-based, veteran-run company that
Ooh,
just does things
what's the
right.
middle name for Mike?
Fillet a pile of fish and get your
I forget.
style.
We'll have to ask him when he gets back, Paul.
USA.com for more info on these game-changing knives.
When you hire Pernetti PA for your
What's up, Dave? The mad snooker in the house.
we provide you our app so that you can monitor your case at any time. Call 1-800-PERNETTI. We're ready. Offices Lakeland, Tampa, St. Pete.
Spa brings you over 35 years of experience building pools in the Tampa Bay area, and they are continuing the legacy of their father's company, which was recognized as a top pool builder in the Tampa Bay area for 35 years. Plus, they are continuing to raise the bar in pool construction, design, and features. They have an unparalleled passion for the industry. Call them. What's your middle name?
My middle name, Terrence.
Terrence? Michael Terrence Anderson? Huh. There you go, Paul.
Paul asked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't even, I mean, my dad's name was Terry,
Okay.
so I couldn't even really go to my middle name. So again, my parents just hosed me. My
Yeah,
brother kind of got
my
hosed.
first name is James, so I went to my middle name. Yeah.
J Hubs isn't bad.
J-Hubs.
J Hubs isn't bad. That would have worked. See, there's not even really anything cool you can do with. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Except when I was young, a lot of people called my dad Andy.
Andy from Anderson?
Yeah. Yeah. That was kind of a big thing in my hometown. There was a lot of Andy and Anderson.
I sent you pictures of that jig.
Oh, thank you. I gotta see this thing, bro. Wow, look at that. And he pounded it, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Welcome back, 6:53 here. Short segment before the top of the hour. We're going to try to get to our, again, visit St. Pete Clearwater safe boating tip here in just a moment. But first, we've got our good friend Tom Saxton out at Pirates Point Resort. Tom, I know you guys have got your heads kicked in, as a lot of people on the water have. How are things going out there at Pirates Point Resort? You guys getting back up and running, recovering from this last 6 months of horrible weather?
Yes, sir. We got everything up and running. We just finished the rebuild on our last building and got it set up this week, and we're renting out. We've got all our cottages up and going, Mike.
Good for you, man. It's a beautiful
good
little
news.
place. Yeah, beautiful little place out there on the Little Manatee River. Excellent fishing right now through the summer. I've run a lot of charters out of there. Great location. I'm just happy to hear, some of these, Bay Area businesses like yours, like so many others, are getting back up and running and finally getting through with some of the construction and, all the rehab you guys had to do from the flooding. How bad was it where you are? How much water did you guys get, Tom?
We're down by the dock, closest to the water, up by our office. The furthest point away from the water was 4.5 foot.
Wow.
It was pretty bad.
That's brutal.
Matter of fact, my personal dock next to the resort, Mike, if you remember, was a floating dock. And when I walked down and looked, my floating dock was sitting on top of my pylons. And I want to give a shout out to Mike's Docks by Mike. He's helped us out a lot and helped us get docks back in working order and get everything going good.
Good deal.
Yeah, at least it was sitting on top of the pilings and not gone, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Little cheaper that way.
That's
Well, it would have been a big boating hazard if it floated off.
yeah, no doubt.
One of many.
Yeah, you and your bride do a great job. I highly recommend you guys get out there and check out Pirates Point Resort if you're looking for a great staycation or a vacation location where you can do some fishing. You can do some fishing right there in the evening, right off the dock. Great place to launch kayaks. The estuary back there is spectacular. Just really, really good people as well. How do they find you if they're going looking for Pirates Point Resort, Tom?
If they go online, they can find us at www.piratespointresort.com, or they could call 813-641-2052, or they could look us up on Facebook. Either way you look us up, I would advise people to go ahead and keep an eye on our website, Facebook page, and stuff like that. We're going to be having a re-grand opening. We're going to have food out here. We're going to have live music going on, and we're going to invite the public out. There's even been rumor that we're talking about putting on a little fishing tournament.
Okay.
Just
cool.
for people to get out here and check us out and, start getting business going again.
I hear you, brother. Well, we're praying for you. You and your lovely bride have done a great job with that place. I'm glad you're back up and running, and keep us posted, and we'll be here for you, brother. All right.
I will, Captain Mike, and thank y'all.
You bet, partner. Good stuff. Pirates Point Resort there. Tom and his wife do a great job out there. Again, we used to run a bunch of group trips out of there for a week at a time, and group after group, day after day, lots of people coming in there with lots of big smiles. It's a nice little place down there in Ruskin.
Yeah, it sounds cool.
Yeah, it is. It's a neat. It's kind of a neat setup the way they have it set up there. And again, the fishing right there is really, really good because you're literally launching from their dock. We would run the trips and we would end up fishing right in front of the lodge on the mangrove shoreline. Like the last stop would be trying to catch a big snook right there across from the dock at the lodge on the mangrove shoreline, because it's lots of moving water right there. Lots of snook have been caught right there. Lots of redfish have been caught right there. So it's a pretty fishy little destination.
Don't leave fish to go find fish.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Here's your charter. We're gonna idle over to the mangroves right here and fish.
Yeah, and it's frustrating in that regard because, like, as a charter captain, you want to have that run in there to show you're trying, but it's like, well, the fish are right here. Exactly. Am I going to run 30 minutes past them to go find other fish when I know they're right here?
I had a whole, I would say it was at least 2 to 3 month run several winters ago where I literally idled from O'Neill's Marina to Indian Key. It's almost straight out the marina.
Yeah, you could walk there.
The north side of Indian Key had a giant school of mullet that just stayed there. Mm-hmm. And they were bouncing from one end of the key to the other just on the drop-off.
And they never got netted.
All I did was throw jigs. I didn't even go catch bait. I would just be like, put your jigs in those mullet.
So you idled and threw jigs.
Yep, and caught redfish, snook, and trout on every trip for 2.5 months. Wow. Now, it's been a while since we've been able to do that. We don't have the mullet.
Should have retired after that.
Yeah, right. It was pretty good stuff. It was pretty good stuff. No doubt about it. We're going to get visit St. Pete Clearwater Safe Boating Tip of the Week. Captain Jim Fogle here up on the other side. Don't touch that dial. We'll be back, 970 WFLA.
The preceding program was paid for by...
I tell Josh some stories. He's like, what? I'm like, bro, for 2.5 months straight. It's crazy. Crazy. We had a sponsor. Billy and I were working on getting this sponsor, and he wanted to go fishing, so we took him out of O'Neill's, and I literally putted over and got on the trolling motor. Billy's like, what are you doing? I'm like, we don't have to go any further. He's like, what? I'm like, bro, watch. And we were back and forth 2.5 hours, and Billy looked at me and goes, you were kidding me. I'm like, no, bro. Been snook, redfish, and trout every trip for 2 months.
Were you trying to hide from everybody else leaving?
You can't hide. You can't hide. I mean, I literally was just back and forth, back and forth. You know that wind in the morning out of the east would just push you right down there. Just
get out of the canal and turn the motor off.
It's crazy, bro. I mean, it's been a while now. I bet that was probably 10 years ago, but it was stupid good.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Dan Hubbard said Gene Turner told us not to leave fish to go find fish or to go look for fish.
100% true.
Yeah. My dad loves saying that too.
Yeah, for sure. It's a true statement. I tell my
Like
cousin,
offshore, you get on a spot and you start fishing and it takes a minute, the bite picks up, and then you kind of hit a crescendo, then the bite slows down. And a lot of times if you're fishing those like bigger peaks, those bigger ledges, like in the grounds a lot, the bite will stop. And if you stay there 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes, the bite will come back. Those fish swim circles around that structure.
Right.
The bite will come back. It'll start again. It'll hit that crescendo, and then it'll die down. And you can literally stay there. Yeah, my dad was famous for that when he was running overnighters. I remember one time I was crewing for him. We sat on a spot for like, I think it was close to 6 hours. It was I don't know how long it was. He's very proud of it, his record of how long he fished one spot. But I want to say it was like 4 to 6 hours. It was a long time.
dude, I mean,
And that's how it happened. You'd get a really good bite, and then it'd kind of slow down, and then they'd be shut down for like 10 minutes. People would be like, why are we here?
Yeah.
Why don't we leave it? And then all of a sudden, boom, 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 boom. It was crazy.
Josh has been good for me business-wise because of that, because he's patient,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not.
Yeah.
Pull up to the shoreline, boom, 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 3 redfish. Okay, everybody's got a big redfish, and I'm like, okay, it's been 10 minutes. We're out of here. It's over. We were over there in Miguel Bay one day, and that went down, and Josh, I went to tell the guys to reel him up, and Josh looked at me, he goes, relax. I'm like, what? He goes, trust me, relax. And then, boom, just like 10 minutes later, pulling on big redfish again.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, bro, they're just bouncing. You found them. You know what they're doing here. They're bouncing back and forth. Just relax.
So redfish will do the same
They
thing.
do the same thing. They work that whole shoreline.
Huh.
Roll up and down that thing.
And you can't chase them because you'll spook them.
Well, right. And you're just in these little mangrove pockets, and they're just working their way back up and, swimming back and forth. And especially if you're in 2.5 foot of water, 3 foot of water, when you hook a stud redfish in there,
It
he
shuts
makes
them down.
quite a ruckus.
Yeah.
So unless they're in full blown feeding frenzy, you may shut it down for a few minutes.
And you just got to wait for that school to move up
Yeah.
and down.
And it's my biggest weakness. I have no patience, none. Well, let's go.
Yeah.
I tell my
I
cousin.
feel like that, at least in our business, you see that a lot with like newer, younger captains who are hungry, who are maybe a little bit ADHD, and they just want to keep grinding, go, go, go. And then over time, they slow down and they soak the spot. You fish the structure, not the show.
Yeah.
And then over time, it can go back and forth. It's interesting to watch the evolution.
It's my biggest. I tell my customers all the time that at the end of this trip, you may tell people that Captain Mike Anderson sucks. What you won't tell them is he was lazy and didn't try to find some fish.
Yeah.
We're going to move. I'm a stick and move guy. Which sometimes bites me. Like Josh is like, dude, if you just relax, bro. Nope, gotta go. Gotta go.
Got to put hours on this Yamaha.
That's right. Let's go.
The White House is acting on Iran, fearing the Middle Eastern nation is even closer to its nuclear aspirations.
If you look right now, every single one of those panels is talking about a murder. That's crazy.
It's awesome.
Kidnapping, domestic incidents, murder. It's crazy. Gigabytes of body cam footage. That's a lot of cops.
Man accused of lewd acts.
Treasure Island is open for business. Deer Beach is too, by the way.
Yeah, right. John's Pass, specifically, is wide open.
Wide open.
Welcome to the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show, your weekly voyage into Florida fishing. Presented by Hubbard's Marina, hosted by Captain Mike Anderson and Captain Dylan Hubbard.
Welcome back. Rolling into hour number 2 here of the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show. As promised, we got a safe boating tip from our guru here, Captain Jim Fogel, Coast Guard Auxiliary Captain Extraordinaire. If you want to join us, phone lines are open, 1-800-969-9352.
I was talking to somebody about Captain Jim yesterday.
Were you? Were you talking about what a legend he is?
A legend, all that good stuff.
Legendary.
But it was a new guy starting his charter business up.
Yeah.
Wasn't quite sure of what he needed or what he had to have. I was like, listen, man, they do this OUPV inspection through the Power Squadron.
Mm-hmm.
They'll come out and do a free inspection.
Not Power Squadron, excuse me.
I always get it wrong. I was so close to being good.
I was digging on the
Coast Guard
vibe,
Auxiliary.
too. I was digging on the vibe there, Jim. I was
Dang
like, man,
it. I almost had it.
D-Hubs has got it. And then, boom,
failure.
Face plant.
Right,
I love it when he does that
ahead.
sometimes because he loves to jump on me when I do it. He loves like both feet get in the air and he just loves to stomp on me. So every now and then he does it. It's perfect.
Coast Guard Auxiliary, free OUPV inspection. They'll come out to your boat. They'll check it out. They'll make sure you have all your safety requirements and that you're up to par. And it's not enforcement.
Excellent. Thank you. Appreciate that very much.
Talk to me, brother. What you got?
I want
Come on.
I want to talk about remind everybody it's spring break time. So let's make sure that everybody's on lookout. I mean, every one of your crew people, family members, whatever, you want them helping you out. You want to be 360 at all times. You want to slow down today, and you want to give way more than usual. You know, boat defensively. Just acknowledge the fact that the other boat may not know the rules, may not see you, or may not care. So
boat
please
defensively.
boat defensively.
I love it.
If you're pulling somebody behind your boat, make sure you're in a clear area. For goodness sake, don't be in a channel anywhere. You want to have plenty of room to pull that person around and stay out of other boats' way. When you pick up a skier or a kneeboarder or whatever, make sure your vessel is off, not in neutral, but yet, yes, in neutral, but you want the ignition off. Do not leave it in neutral, running. So let's don't get anybody hurt that way. Don't feel bad about using your horn. Some of you might not even know where your horn is. But figure it out. Find your horn, find your whistle. If there is danger or doubt, blow that horn quickly 5 times or just lean on the thing. Get the other boat's attention. That's the important thing. We won't worry about whether it's 3, 4, or 5 today. We just want to get the other boat's attention. So if you've got to be out on the water today, please be careful.
I love it. Yeah,
We don't want to. Thanks for the time and for the Coast Guard Auxiliary. Jim Fogel. Be safe out there.
Thanks, buddy.
Good job, Jimmy. You're the man, buddy. Good stuff right there. Brought to you by our good friends at Visit St. Pete Clearwater.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Good stuff. Great new partner. I'm excited about
And
it.
that OUPV inspection, Captain Jim and I have been talking about it. It's a really interesting thing. Like for us, we're Coast Guard inspected vessels. So when you have a passenger carrying vessel, a for-hire boat that's taking customers on the boat, any sort of consideration, change in hands, that's a charter. Any more than 6 passengers, you have to be Coast Guard inspected. So the Coast Guard comes on our boats and does the whole thing. So we know what we have to have, and the Coast Guard makes sure of it multiple times a year. But for people that operate 6-pack vessels or uninspected passenger vessels, OUPVs, there's no Coast Guard presence on the boat. So you know what you have to have because you run a business, you look at the laws and all that good stuff. But over time, things can change, new regulations can happen, things can get out of date, and you don't want to encounter law enforcement on the water during a charter and find out that you don't have something or something's expired. So the fact that the Coast Guard Auxiliary offers that free OUPV inspection, and someone will come down and go through your whole boat, make sure you're totally compliant. And if you're not compliant, they're not going to write you a ticket. It's not law enforcement.
Right.
They're just going to be
They're
like,
just
hey,
trying
you
to
need
help.
this. It's pretty cool.
I've never understood.
It's a great service.
I see it. I've seen it for years. They'll be set up somewhere, and you see people be grumpy towards them. I'm like, what are you doing? Like they're just here to help, bro.
Volunteering.
Yes, volunteering. They're just a bunch of good old boys wanting to try to help you out, and gals. Just there to help, man.
Yeah.
So when you're on the water and all hell breaks loose, and at some point, if you're an avid boater, at some point it's going to happen.
It's not if, it's when.
Right, 100%.
Just like running aground.
Yep, for sure.
You are going to run aground at some point. It's not if,
100%.
it's when.
Right. I mean, you got to be prepared. I've seen in my career several times, myself included, where you're in a situation that can go one of two ways really, really quick. And I've seen people panic where you just, I had to yell at a female charter captain one time, like, hey, you got to go. Like, you can't sit here and fumble through this in your brain. Otherwise, I'm going to mark that thing as a reef. You got to go. I mean, just you need to think through the processes of your safety stuff. What happens if you're taking on water?
Think through them ahead of time.
Yeah, ahead of time. Yeah, think through all that stuff and set yourself up to be successful in those situations so you don't have that moment of panic. So just stuff that, we're blessed to have Jim Fogle go over for us each and every week. Twice, actually, on both shows. But, we had our celebration for the legend Big Snook Billy, Captain Billy Nobles.
What a great event.
Tuesday night. It was a really nice event.
Great turnout.
Kudos to his bride, Kim, and the family there. Got to talk to Mama Nobles and Billy's brother, and some of that stuff was pretty cool. So
it was like a Florida sportsman reunion.
It was.
It was so fun.
Do yourself a favor, take a kid fishing was everywhere.
Yeah, that was cool.
So it was.
You can always tell
cool
how loved someone was, and by their turnout at their event. And that's what I was thinking when I showed up early because I knew I had a long drive and I knew I had to deal with traffic. It was only like 45 minutes on my GPS, but I was like, I'm going to give myself 2 hours.
For sure.
Well, I needed an hour and 45 minutes to get there, an extra hour because of traffic. So regardless, I showed up about 15, 20 minutes early, and the parking lot was already full.
Yeah.
It was already full, 15, 20 minutes early.
Yeah.
And by the time the event actually kicked off, like the start time, it was standing room only.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of tables and a lot of chairs in that place.
So it was funny because the morning after, I had a trip, and Gary from the Marina and I were talking because he was there, and he was like, God, how many people do you think were there? And I'm like, I just guessed, 250.
Yeah.
And he's like, there was, what did he figure? There was, how many tables did he say there was? I can't remember how many tables. He had it kind of figured out, and there was 8 people at every table, and the tables were all full, and then there was people standing all the way around when all the, commencements were going on. Everybody was talking about Billy up there. So he figured it was closer to 350 people.
I believe it.
So I do too.
Yeah, if you asked me that, I would have guessed 300.
Yeah. I mean,
there was a ton of people.
There was a
at that
ton
event.
of people there, a lot of people, which is a testament to Billy's heart and who he was.
And I would say there was just as many people who wanted to be there who couldn't.
Oh, for sure.
So
No
I
doubt.
think, I think it would have been even bigger.
I was telling you, before we got started this morning, I had a teary phone call from a guy, this week who just found out. Didn't know. He found out after the celebration, and he was booked to fish with Billy later this month. So he had just talked to him recently and set a trip up for him and his son. So, just a tough gig. Tough gig,
Yeah.
for sure.
It was tough, for
But,
sure.
you know, I've been saying it ever since it happened, man. If you're out there and you have some kind of dispute going on, some kind of, you know, unrest in your life with a loved one, a brother, a sister, a cousin, an uncle, a mom, a dad, whatever it is, you know, there's no guarantees for tomorrow. You know, people talk to Captain Billy at 3:45 that afternoon, and, you know, sun sets and Billy's gone.
Yeah.
So you ain't guaranteed tomorrow. You ain't even guaranteed the rest of today. It's just the way it works.
Yeah.
So you need to, you know, try to put some of that silliness. I know sometimes things get personal and brutal, and it's hard to forgive people and all that. But boy, I don't think you want to carry that with you.
Life is short.
Yeah, for sure.
Enjoy it to the fullest.
Agreed.
And don't let anybody steal your joy. That's what always gets me is like, for example, someone I know well, like someone cuts you off in traffic. Don't let it ruin your whole day.
No. I let it out immediately, and then it doesn't stay with me. I believe in that. I believe if you just keep it in, by the time you get home, you can be mad. If you just tell them how you feel immediately when they do it, then let it go, you're good.
Yeah. Okay. I just laugh about it.
Do you?
Yeah. It's like the keyboard warrior thing. It's like, oh, they feel all big and bad behind the keyboard. It's the same thing behind the wheel of a 2,000-pound car or 5,000-pound truck, you know? It's like, oh, you feel all big and bad in that truck, huh?
Yeah.
Want to cut me off? Okay.
Yeah, you're not going to
have your fun.
Not going to change that much, I don't think.
There's no teaching an old dog new tricks, huh?
Them idiots. Jackwagons. You can't fix it. Let's go to the phone.
You can't fix stupid.
You can't.
Brought to you by Real Animals.
100%. That's a true statement, dude. Stupid is
stupid is as stupid does.
It just is what it is, bro.
Okay, Forrest Gump.
Can't fix it, bro. You can't fix it. You really can't. You can try to scrub it off them, but they're just stupid. It's just the way it works, dude. Like the people running Hillsborough County. Come on now. You can't fix that kind of stupid, bro.
What, voting to keep fluoride in the water? Is that what you're talking
Dude,
about?
I'm talking about, have you seen the traffic, bro? It's unbelievable. I'm sitting in traffic the other day, like bumper to bumper. It's absolutely horrible.
Says a man who relies on the tourism industry for your income. You're going to complain about traffic.
No. Listen. I had a conversation yesterday with the Visit St. Pete Clearwater people. Listen, I love the tourists.
A new campaign, Visit St. Pete Clearwater. Visit St. Pete Clearwater and then go home.
100%. 100%. I'm down, dude. I would poster child that all day long. Don't stay. We got plenty.
Visit St. Pete Clearwater would be behind that because they're funded by hotel room nights.
I know.
They're not funded by you moving here.
I'm with you, right? We don't need you to stay. Just come visit the beach and then go home. That's perfect. Get out.
They're on board.
Here's the cosmic part. So you're stuck in traffic, and anybody can do this. You can do this yourself if you're listening. You're stuck in traffic. It says it's going to take you 40 minutes to get home. You're already at an hour and 15 because
great time for a Real Animals podcast.
It is. That's a good point. That's a good point. But if you look, this happened to me yesterday. I'm stuck in traffic. Nothing's moving. It's way too crowded. And you look over to your right, and you know what I saw? About 6 acres of brand new apartment complex going in. Where the heck are those people going to go? What idiot thought that was a good idea? Oh, I know it's not too bad over there. It's not very crowded. Well, let's just put an apartment complex right here. Jackwagons. I literally would punch that person in the face and go home and take a nap and be like, and no remorse at all. I could leave them bludgeoned and bloody and be like, you deserved every bit of that because you're such a jackwagon.
Yeah.
Seriously.
You just got to let it out, Mike.
Dude,
let it out.
The people I had on my boat from Wisconsin yesterday were like, this is the only place we come to where they wait until you're at 150% capacity and then go, I know what we'll do. We'll fix
build
the
a road.
roads. Let's fix the roads now.
And I would, that is all frustrating. And I see your point. My biggest frustration is on the other side of that is the sewage.
Well, it's part of it too.
Why haven't, I mean, you need to update the sewage before you put in that new apartment
100%.
complex.
That's my whole beef. Like some idiot, some jackwagon is running that should be bludgeoned severely in the skull. Like, what are we doing? Like, how did you get appointed? How do you get this job to be that big an idiot? Like, seriously.
Somebody voted for him.
God help us all.
Dude, you got to listen to that podcast.
I'm going to. I can't wait. I'm like, it's going to be on before I go to my next stop after this show. I will be listening to that podcast.
It's pretty wild.
Wait, love it. Oh, We almost got Donald.
JB is like, you're done. I've had enough of this.
Jason Bear just trying to save us from
He's hitting the dump button on us.
See? Let me save the boys from themselves.
Let's play some music and get these guys off the air. Mike's on a rampage.
We got our good friend Donald in Lutz here. On the other side, we'll be back 970 WFLA.
Consider this your
I was sitting in traffic yesterday.
If you got hate in your heart, you got to let it out, Mike.
God, don't keep it in. It'll eat you alive. I literally was like, I look over to my right, and there's just giant apartment complex going, and I'm like, where in the hell are all those people going to be driving? Jesus, there's no room on the road now. God. It's terrible. They got that massive project going on 301 in Riverview. It is absolutely...
I thought Pinellas County was bad, bro, but driving to Billy's thing in the South Shore and that whole area...
Horrible.
It is a nightmare over
Horrible, dude. Horrible. And again, let's get a little freaking local Doge going and find out where all the money's going. All those permits, all that extra
Dude,
tax
do you know
money.
how much the permit fees are?
Yes,
so, like,
I do.
In Madeira Beach, the local builder, real estate guy, they're our landlord at Don's Docks. So I'm meeting with them to talk about some Don's Docks stuff. Well, they're launching this beautiful hotel project that's going to really be gorgeous. And he said that project, just the permit fees, just the permit application fees are almost $1.5 million.
Where's it going?
Yeah.
And I got news for you. I'm a state licensed specialty contractor. I have a company that does aluminum enclosures. When I left there to go fishing full time and just be the license holder for the company, permits were $35 a piece. You know how much they are now? $400.
That's crazy.
And it's not, there isn't a new building for permitting. There isn't new people doing the permits. It's the same shit. Where's all that money go? Go get them, boys. Find it. Find the money. And everybody that's stealing it, put them on a wall somewhere so I can bludgeon them. Seriously, dude, it's terrible, man. It's so corrupt. It's nonsense, man.
Yeah. Crazy.
It's ridiculous. Think about how much stuff is getting taxed here in Hillsborough County. Where the hell's all that money going?
What, like,
You ain't using it on the
besides
roads.
all that, the thing that really gets me is you buy a house, then you pay tax to own that house, then you work and you pay tax to get the money, then you go to buy something, that money's taxed again. You invest something, that money's taxed if you make any money. Then if you die, they take half of your money in tax. So like that money's been taxed like 4 times.
Yeah, and where's it all going?
And we started a war over a couple penny tax on tea. It's crazy.
It's crazy, bro. It's how lazy the American people are. We keep voting for these same jackasses over and over
You
and over
like
again.
the shirt I'm wearing?
Love
George
that.
Washington all tacked up.
Love it.
The back of the shirt says, I heard you bitches are ready for a revolution.
Where'd you get
I
that
love
one?
this
That
shirt.
same place?
Combat, it's Combat Iron Apparel. I love it. They have the best t-shirts.
Heard you bitches are ready for a revolution. It's about time. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's just clean house. System's broke. I'll let you play with my... I got extras. Come to the house. Welcome back. Affordable Roofing Systems. If you're looking for a roof, whether it might be repair or a full replacement, nobody does it better. Our good friend David Torres, Affordable Roofing Systems. They did Captain Big Ben Marshall's roof here recently. They did Dylan's roof. I know they were doing one of your neighbor's roofs as
They're doing
well.
my neighbor's roof right now.
Yeah.
And when I left for work yesterday at like 5:45 in the morning, Affordable Roofing was already set up in front of my neighbor's house. And when that time frame kicks in of when they're able to start work, they started right away. And last night when we were putting our kids down, about 6:30, they were finishing up the roof.
Crazy, dude.
Banged it out one day.
Yeah, it's
Crazy.
really, really an impressive group of people. I've had David Torres and his family on my boat great family people that care about the job they do. That's really, really hard to find these days. Give them a call today, 1-888-397-ROOF. Get you a free estimate. Visit them online at affordableroofingflorida.com. Doesn't matter. Shingle, metal, tile, flat roofs, repairs, replacements, nobody's better. Let's go to the phones here real quick. Check in with Donald in Lutz. Donald, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great. Hope all is well with everyone.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that was, it's crazy the amount of traffic out there. They're building a new apartment complex like a mile from my house there, 54 in Henley.
Every other mile. They're building one every other mile.
It's 54 out here, Odessa area, Trinity, and Lutz, Land O'Lakes. It's just insane.
Yeah.
The traffic here, they want to raise 41. They've got a proposal coming up on March 25th. They want the input of the people. They want to do like an overpass, like they did on US 19.
We need to build a wall. That's what we need to do. We need to build a wall.
It's like, welcome to Florida. Leave your money and go
We
home.
have very devolved. Come on, Donald. How's the fishing, buddy?
Hey, you know what? When I was out a couple weeks ago, it was pretty fun. We had a great time. Had another outing on the 29th. Going to be a bit because I got a bunch of work around the house I got to get done over the weekends because I can only go on weekends, but it is what it is. But
it is what it is.
5 more years till I retire, and watch out, fish.
Once he retires, they're in trouble.
That's it.
Oh, yeah.
Going to put his cape on. Dun, 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 dun.
It's going to be great, and I'm going to catch a tag redfish. It will happen.
There's no doubt in my mind. I hope you do. That's coming up here soon. Now, we're not far from the CCA Star Tournament. Hopefully, people are getting involved.
I'm already registered, and I'll be at the banquet on the 27th. So, looking forward to seeing everybody there. It's always fun, and it's unfortunate that we got to see everybody. At the memorial on Tuesday, and it was great to see everybody and people I haven't seen in a while. I saw Vance there, talked with him for a few minutes, and Eric Botnick was there, and talking. I haven't seen him in quite a while, and we talked about Neil Taylor because he had passed away back in October, and it's like, man, all my friends, all people I know, my buddy. My fishing buddy Bruce a couple of years ago passed away. He was 1 month away from retiring, and aneurysm, boom, in his kitchen.
Yeah, you never know, man. You never know.
Exactly.
Somebody said something to me right there after Billy passed. They said some of us won't see any of it. Some of us will see some of it, and some of us will see a lot of it.
Yeah, I like
and it's
that
just
one.
how it goes, man. I mean, It just depends. And like I said a bunch of times at Billy's celebration of life, I truly believe this, that Billy is the lucky one. He's in heaven. Calm seas, the fish are always biting. Life is good. We're the ones down here putting up with the traffic and the chaos and all the political unrest and all the nonsense. So it's just the only way I can deal with it, The only way I can deal with that kind of loss is really understanding that they get to go to the better place while we're down here knuckleheading it up, So it's all good. Good call, Donald. We appreciate you, brother. As always, good to hear your voice.
Thanks,
good
buddy.
to see you.
Absolutely. I should have got out there real quick. I've done a little PSA. If you feel something, get checked out.
For sure.
Do yourself and your family, friends a favor. Go check out.
Get your blood work done.
Yeah, for sure. Go see the doctor. Yeah, good idea.
I just got mine done 2 weeks ago. I was at the doctor's, got everything all good. So, it's like, you got to go.
Yeah. And if you do end up in the hospital, make sure you call the show. Like Donald.
You can be in the Hall of Fame callers list, too.
Have a great day, buddy. We appreciate you. Got to go. All right, buddy. See you, pal. Good stuff right there. Words to live by. We'll be back. 970 WFLA.
From the local Lexus dealers, WFLA.
Where are you? I'm in the hospital. Just had a massive
Just
heart
had a
attack.
heart attack. But I wanted to call in.
But I wanted to call in and tell you about this fishing
I
trip.
was like, what? Hold on. What did you just say?
Someone said word of the day is bludgeoning. Bludgeoning. Typical Real Animals radio show.
Never know what's going to come out of that guy's mouth. That guy's crazy.
threatened species. Wildlife experts say they are shy and non-aggressive. Experts warn to never feed crocodiles or alligators in the wild. The Jaguars are trading wide receiver Christian Kirk to Houston for a 2026 seventh-round pick. Kirk is in his final year of a 4-year, $72 million deal. A judge in Orange County has granted bond for Tina Alego, who's charged with second-degree murder from a road rage shooting back in December. Alego shot a man who got out of his car and began punching her after she allegedly rammed his vehicle deliberately. With Florida's News, I'm Tim Adkins.
From the Moss Nissan Traffic Center, seems like a pretty smooth traffic flow on the major highways and roads of Tampa Bay, including north and southbound lanes of I-275. This is for Hillsborough and Pinellas. Right now, no issues north or south on I-75 either, and east and westbound lanes of I-4 are also clear. Of course, you can expect some delays westbound between the Selman and I-275 soon. Besides that, we're clear on the Howard Franklin and the Courtney Campbell, and right now, no issues on the Gandy either. I'm Brian Black, News Radio WFLA.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
As we head into your Saturday morning, it's going to be pretty cool, so take a light jacket if you're going out and about. Temperatures will start out in the mid to upper 50s across the Bay Area, and we are going to have a lot of sunshine throughout the day. There may be a stray shower late in the afternoon along the nature coast, but the showers do stay well off to our north, so no rain in the Bay Area. Nice humidity. High temperatures today are going to top out in the upper 70s. I'm Max Offender 8 meteorologist Eric Stone.
Rapid radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
If you've been thinking about selling your home, now is the time. With a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can sell your home fast and for more than you expect. It's Ryan Gorman here. One of the most stressful things about selling your home is not being able to control the timing. Mark Spain Real Estate allows you to receive an all-cash offer and close in as little as 21 days, hassle-free, guaranteed. No showings, no houses.
I'm missing out.
Advantage of it. I don't know why. It makes no sense to me.
New name for Captain Mike, a.k.a. Traffic Mike.
The bludgeoner.
The real bludgeoner.
That's right. Captain Jack Reacher.
Dude, I've been sleeping on Reacher. I hadn't watched it.
I haven't either.
And
I still haven't. Is it good?
Oh, bro.
Really?
I've been sleeping on it, and I haven't watched it. And when I was in Colorado and got hurt, I was like, what am I going to watch? Dude, you have to watch it.
Really?
Talk about, like, gym motivation. Whew.
Really?
Yeah. It is literally like, it is Captain Mike Anderson. Like, what you talk about, it's him. Like, if he sees some injustice, he just beats the hell out of these people.
It's so funny. So I went to that Military Worlds tournament in August.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know anybody but Matt Suter. Like, I know one guy there. And we're getting BP the night before, like the afternoon before. And we finish up BP, and the coach gives us kind of a little talk. And we're walking back to the vehicles out of the field. And somebody looks at Matt and points to me and goes, who brought Jack Reacher? Who brought Reacher along? Well, then, the funny part is, the next day, I'm used to doing a prayer after we play.
Yeah.
So after the first game, the teams don't come together in the middle for a prayer, and I'm kind of standing there like, this ain't cool. We play another game, and we win, and finally I'm like, hey, y'all mind if we get together and pray? They're like, no, that was great. So both teams come out and we pray. So I give the prayer. We're walking back to the dugout, and the same dude goes, Reacher the Preacher. And it just stuck. I was asking Maddie the other day on the phone. I said, hey, have we got the date for the World Tournament yet? He goes, no, not yet, but don't worry. Reacher the Preacher's in. You're in, bud.
Yeah, dude, you got to go home and watch that show.
I'm in.
It's great.
Maybe that weekend that the wives are gone, Ryder and I can.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
It's pretty gruesome.
All right. Well, he's 12.
It's very. It's not. There's some sexual stuff, but the graphicness, like when someone gets shot, they get shot.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's a good show.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a series.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, they're in the third season.
It's on what? Netflix?
Prime, Amazon Prime.
I was pretty honored by the whole thing. I thought, well, that's a cool name to get, right?
That is a cool name.
Yeah.
Wait till you watch the show.
Welcome back. Last big segment here before we wrap things up. Let's try to rattle through some of these calls we have. Quite a few on hold here. Let's go to Alan in St. Pete. Alan, you're on the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show. What's up, my friend?
Yeah, morning, gentlemen. Got a little crazy there for a minute, huh?
He called us gentlemen.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was crazy. That's not crazy. We
You
didn't
haven't
hurt
seen crazy.
We didn't hurt anyone.
Crazy isn't radio friendly.
If it gets crazy, you get a call, and then you got to come to the scene. We don't want that. So we're way more advanced than that.
You know what's funny? I have not driven out Highway 54 or 56 up there around Wesley Chapel and Lutz in quite a few years.
Don't do it.
And I drove up there the other day to go do a little scouting up in Upper Hillsboro Wildlife Management Area, looking for a new turkey spot, and just could not believe how bad the traffic was. You know it's bad when the option on the way home, the better option is taking 301 and hitting I-4. If hitting I-4 is in your vocabulary, that's bad.
It's not good.
I saw this thing, and it was some meme, and it was you could drive across the country of Russia and still be in Russia for 149 hours. And so you could literally drive across the country and still be in the same country for 149 hours. And Tampa International Airport screenshotted that and shared it, and they were like, you could do the same thing on I-4.
You can, literally. I was just wondering, have you guys ever done this? I do this every time I come back to where I put in at Safety Harbor. I even if I don't have to, I run along the causeway as fast as I can just to see if I can go faster than traffic, because I know it's got to piss them off. Because I just want to go.
That's kind of mean. I like it. I like
it. Yeah. But I'm the crazy one. As you're taunting the people on the road, officer.
Watch me jog faster than you can drive, sucker.
Exactly.
It's just a great feeling.
I'm really fast today.
This show has really gone to hell this morning. It's gone downhill quick. Jesus. Yeah, man, I hear you. It's crazy.
So did you find the turkeys?
No, not. I did, but it was about a quarter mile away in a farmer's field on the way home. I saw a bunch of them.
Perfect.
The story of my life. And they'll probably still be there when I'm schlepping around through the woods. I'm like, in 10 years, I think I've shot 4 turkeys in the state of Florida. So I've not yet figured it out here.
Yeah,
it seems to be a little easier up north, and the wife's family up in Wisconsin seems to have. There's just a ton. It's amazing to me that there's so many turkeys in Wisconsin because they were extinct in the 70s.
Well, I can say
they've done a really good job of bringing them back.
In honor of Mr. Mahoney, I'll say that Disney property in Orlando is loaded.
If I could fit a 410 in my golf bag, I could limit out anywhere from Brooksville south.
It's crazy. Those golf courses around the Disney property is nuts.
Do they make a silencer for a shotgun? You can call it down. Do they?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's crazy how tame animals on golf.
I don't know why I know that.
We had to shoot a herd of deer off the tee box the other day. They were feeding on the tee box and wouldn't let us tee off.
Another reason I don't play golf.
Muzzle flash.
Right.
Scares them every time.
Yeah. Nothing goes really good with
they're making those crossbows smaller and smaller all the time.
Nothing goes good with a golf game like a nice venison burger.
Yeah. So why is that guy's cart leaning so hard to the right?
Ammo.
His body in the passenger seat.
Strap him to the hood as you roll through the clubhouse parking lot.
Throw a hat on it and throw your rain jacket over it and a hat, and they'll think it's an old guy.
Like Weekend at Bernie's with the antlers.
Who left the gut pile? Who left the gut pile on the 15th fairway?
That's what the little pond is for, Mike. What is this, amateur hour? The Gators will take care of it.
Yeah, the Gators got to eat too.
Yeah,
That's
man.
Great, dude.
Don't leave the gut pile on the fairway. Put it in the pond.
Yeah, come on.
Take some rope and hang him up in one of the.
I just called you a gentleman, and you're doing this kind of stuff.
Hang him up in the oak tree on the 10th fairway and get to carving them up.
You can come back later.
This would be great. Oh, I got blood on my golf shoes.
Yeah, he needs to hang out with Mahoney more,
This
apparently.
is unbelievable. Where have we gone? Good Lord. We're losing listeners like they're dropping like flies.
Yeah. We're wondering why he's golfing in a black outfit now.
That's right. Dressed like a ninja.
No more khakis for Cap Mike.
That's right. Camo, everything's camo. Okay, Alan, that's very good. We can't talk to you anymore. You're on restriction when you call the show.
Nice.
All right. Well, my bite was not good this week. It was a struggle, to say the least. Like, I went one day, I caught exactly 2 fish, a grouper and a puffer fish, and the puffer fish was bigger.
Oh,
nice.
Tough day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's not.
Have you ever eaten one of the puffers?
I hear they're tasty.
They're good.
Really?
From what I hear, yeah.
If you know how to, get around the bad stuff, I hear they're good.
Yeah, I heard you just don't gut them, and you cut the head, you cut the tail, and you pull, or actually you just cut the head on the inshore puffers, and then just pull the skin off like a frog, basically. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not.
I've seen it done.
Hungry.
You can
really,
YouTube it.
Yeah, at this point,
I'm not that hungry, he says.
There's a lot of things you can eat that you don't.
Dude, we have some people that fish with us that love the puffers, man. And
Really?
any puffer that comes up, they want to keep it. And I've seen them clean them before. It's quick, it's easy, and you get these little nuggets out of it. They look good.
Puffer nuggets.
I've considered it.
Puffer nuggets.
If the price of everything keeps going up, we may be there soon.
Right.
I may start eating puffers. You
I
never
mean,
know.
just on the pure general principle of how many soft plastics they've ruined, you should probably try some puffer,
You know what?
Got to eat them to beat them.
They do owe me huge.
Go to Eric Bachnick's puffer fish farm in the center of the state. Him and Mark Nichols.
You got to eat them to beat them.
Exactly. All right, Alan, I got to take another call. Everything with you this morning is digressing. I don't know what it is with you, buddy. All right, see you. Talk soon. Oh, that was a classic right there. We're literally skinning deer on the golf course.
And eating puffer fish.
Where did we go? Let's go to Crystal River, talk to our good friend Jance. Jance, can you save us somehow?
It's entertainment purposes only.
Exactly.
How do we know you listen to Sundays?
You know who's smiling? You know who is smiling? Is Mahoney.
Yes.
Mahoney is thrilled right now that
the
we are.
dark side.
That's right. Exactly.
100%.
100%. No doubt.
Great show as always, gentlemen. I just want to give a shout out to the podcast. Was getting caught up on recent episodes, and that episode you did with Relentless Knives was spectacular and just really interesting, the technology that goes behind building those knives.
Thank you. Yeah, I enjoyed that too. And with George Lambert, the owner over there, with his military background and some of the stuff we got to chat about was just really cool to me. Leadership stuff too, because he was a squadron commander and all that. It was cool. I enjoyed that one a lot. So I appreciate that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm really absolutely, I don't know what it is, but and I've been doing the podcast thing for a little while, but some of the conversations I've had here, just when I kind of ramped them back up here, have been just fantastic. And I still like to do the fishing thing, and we try to bring that into every one. But just having conversations with people like George Lambert, who was a squadron commander of all these pilots and stuff.
The most popular
really cool.
podcasts, the ones I love the most, are the conversational ones.
Yeah.
They just have conversations with really interesting guests.
Yeah.
It's always cool.
That's really been, kind of been my push here on this whole thing, to just be, not fish, which obviously I love to talk about, but, digging into some of that stuff, some of the leadership stuff you can pick up from some of these people and some of the stuff that they've been through. And to me, it's been just a blast. I did 2 other ones this week that were I thought they were both excellent,
That's cool.
So I appreciate that, Jens.
Just showcasing like what all is going on in the fishing industry, not only, the fishing side of it, but it just really, shines a light on people that they don't know as far as what's out there. And, it's a good platform to really, get the word out there. But wanted to know, with the introduction of Contender's new 29 Bay, is Captain Anderson going to be stepping up and running that as offshore and nearshore charters?
I am not currently interested in a 29 Bay. That thing is
That's a beast.
That
Massive.
is a beast. I mean, it looks like an extremely fishy platform. The way they laid it out, there's a ton of room in it. I like the fact that comes with twins, so it gives you that versatility because I'm not a big bay boat way offshore guy. I'm not alone. Even when I've done shows out there, I've always in the interview process I've mentioned that, listen, I only have one 300 on the back of my boat,
but it's a Yamaha.
But there's a camera boat with us.
Yeah,
like I'm not out here alone. It's just something to think about. I know a lot of guys do it. I talk to guys all the time that push that envelope with one motor, and obviously a lot of them do it without any issues, but that's a long way to go with only one motor. I like that about the 29.
Got to have your redundancies in place.
All right, I like that about the 29 bay, especially here on the west coast of Florida where you'll get those days that glass out all day long where you could run that 29 bay with a huge fuel capacity. You could run it all over the Gulf. You know what I mean, with two motors. But it does draft a little bit more water than my 26 Contender Bay, in my opinion, is best in class by far for draft. It's a true 12-inch boat. I've been many, many times filming with guys that were like, I cannot believe how skinny. Ozzie Lessinger and I just filmed one for season 19 here down there by him in Captiva, and we were super shallow. He just kept going, dude, I cannot believe we can get this boat in here. And I always run a full tank of fuel. And it's a heavy boat. But just the way it floats is super shallow. And
Plus, you're in it.
They say that. I don't know if that's a compliment or a shot.
You both.
Your fat butts in that boat too. But I don't know that the stepping up to that 15-inch draft on the 29. I'm just not sure that would work.
Yeah.
On Tampa Bay.
Wait. A 15-inch draft on a 29-foot boat with twins?
Yep, 15-inch
That's a lot of displacement.
I agree. And the only reason I think it's if I'd have just walked by, Jance, if I'd have just walked by the booth and was like, wow, 29 bay boat, what's a draft, 15 inches? I'd have been like, yeah, whatever. The only reason I think that it's even possible is that I'm in a 26 bay that is a true 12-inch draft boat. That's the only reason I'm thinking, well, maybe. So,
that's crazy.
Yeah. And the price point, it's an expensive bay boat. I mean, you got to really want one.
Yeah, my wife and I a few weeks ago went to the Ocala Boat Show, and we actually caught up with Captain Ryan Rickard. But we were checking out some of the other boats, and obviously Contender wasn't there. But for the price, it just seems like the quality of the boats out there it just isn't there. We're looking at the fit and finishes, and it seems like the quality is either people are just getting lazy, or it's just the quality just isn't there.
Right. Yeah, I mean it's an interesting market now. The boat business. I was thinking about it at the Miami Boat Show. When you look at all that fiberglass in there.
Well, they were rushing boats out. Like during COVID, they couldn't keep enough in stock, so they were in this process. Really, the whole industry was like, oh, buy. We can't get enough. Get all the inventory we can. And now people are sitting on inventory, and inventory is not moving. The market's starting to adjust. So I think a lot of that will start to fix itself. Just because it's going to become harder to start selling this stuff, especially some of these new products that the price points have just gone out of this world.
Yeah.
So you're sitting on a boat that's 100, 130, 150 grand to sell new, and you've pushed and rushed manufacturing to a point where you've let some of that stuff fall by the wayside. So I think they're going to have to be more careful, and they're going to have to step up their game or lower prices.
And I think too, with that, real quick, because we got to go to break, Jans. I think what happened there too was a lot of companies grew so quickly to try to keep up with demand that they brought in a lot of people to make changes to these boats that weren't really ready to make that leap, in position. If that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? Like you got guys.
Yeah, I don't know if it's my age, like getting a little older, or since moving up here to Crystal River. But out of all the boats that I was most interested in at the boat show, it was the John boat.
That's a Crystal River thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, that might be the Crystal River drinking water up there, buddy.
This will get me to the sandbar.
Are you going to be at Homosassa Marine for the grand opening? Their big ceremony, their big celebration going on here. It's next weekend.
Yep.
I'm going to try and make it out, but wife she's starting a new business, so I'm trying to help her get that set up and running.
Okay. Well, I know there's going to be a lot of us there. I know Danny Allen's going to be there. Jeff Page is going to be there. I think CA's coming. I'm going to be there. Ryan Rickard is now the GM out there at Homosassa Marine. So we're all going to go up there and help them kind of launch that thing. So if you get a chance, stop by and see us.
Fantastic. Looking forward to it, Mike.
All right, brother. Always good to hear your voice. Thanks for the call, pal.
All right, have a great day.
You too, buddy.
See you, man.
Good stuff. Got a little love for the podcast. Good stuff. Yeah. We're going to take Bill and Brandon here on the other side. We'll be wrapping things up. Good stuff.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Real Animal Saturday.
Yeah, man.
Bludgeon.
Wake up. Wake up. We'll be back.
Listening on the free iHeartRadio.
Now that you mentioned Rickard. Because I think Morgan Lynch was going to come in here today.
Oh, is that what it was? Yeah, Morgan Lynch was supposed to be here today.
Yeah, and I moved him to tomorrow. And I think Rickard wanted to come in tomorrow on the Sunday show. I think I had Rickard tomorrow. That's why I sent Mahoney home for tomorrow. And now I'm going to have to send Ben home too, because I'm going to have Rickard and Morgan Lynch tomorrow.
Solid.
Yeah, which will make Ben happy probably, because he can sleep in.
Yeah.
Yep, I think that's what I'm going to have to do.
That's what the B team does, man. They just get told not to come in.
They're more than welcome to run it if they
Hey, we
want.
don't need your services tomorrow.
You don't have to push me for a good time. I'll go home. I was no more accurate. I think that's what I'm going to have to do. I think I screwed that up.
At least you remembered it now. Instead of tomorrow.
Right.
Would have been a bigger problem tomorrow morning.
I'm an egghead right now, dude. My world is so scattered right now. I'm trying to get stuff done and booked and just a mess. Absolute mess. But I think
It's a good problem to have.
I think admitting that you have
The
a problem.
first step is admitting you have a problem, Mike.
I have a problem.
Yes.
Houston, we have a problem. I'm not very bright. That's a problem. Ryan Rickard. Oh, there it is. I was wondering if that one was made it in there. Ryan Rickard. Little plug for the podcast made me happy.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
I got a new backdrop and everything. We had a Real Animals backdrop made. So I look professional.
Wow.
Sound like shit. But you look
Where are you doing it at? Because we talked about doing it.
We did. I just
You backed out on me.
I didn't want to back out on you, but I didn't want to put anything
I
else
didn't want to back out on you, but I did.
I didn't want to put anything else on your plate.
I got you.
Is what was my fear. Because Beth said the same thing. She's like, I thought you were going to try and do something with Dylan. I'm like, I was, but I feel like you're so busy, bro. You know what I mean? And again, none of it seems to bother you, because you're young. I don't know, but
I would have made it work. But all good. If it works, it works.
Well,
obviously it's working.
there's nothing. I mean, I'm not doing anything that we can't adjust on the fly. It's my show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, also it was going to be more difficult for you anyway, because we were talking about doing it in Pinellas.
Well, I'm in Pinellas anyway. I got to go to St. Pete to do it now.
Where is
That's where Radio Influence. It's like on. What's the address? Is it in here still? No, it's not. I'll find the address. It's close to downtown.
What?
Close to downtown. Welcome back. Wrapping things up here this morning. The Bartow Ford Real Animals radio show. Let's check in here real quick. Take one last call. Let's go to Bill in Brandon. Bill, are you in traffic?
No, I'm not. I'm in my living room. Actually.
Oh, smart. Okay.
So I've got a good story about Relentless Knives, and it's kind of interesting that you guys mentioned that this morning about your podcast. This gentleman, George, who I've never met, he doesn't know me from Hogan's House Goat. I had an issue getting my knife. I'm in Brandon, obviously. They're in Tampa. and the knife was stuck in the Ybor City post office location for about 4 or 5 days.
Okay.
It wouldn't move from there, according to the tracking. So I emailed George, or emailed the company. George took on the email on a weekend now, he returned my email and even texted me his own personal phone number and said to me that he would be happy to drop the knife off at my house until I get the one that I ordered. He personally would do that, and I could take him the knife that I ordered back to his office, and that he would give me a personal tour of his facility, which is pretty much unheard of. And when you said, I didn't realize that the gentleman was military, but I thought there was something about him that was different, and that explains the whole thing. The communication aspect of it was unbelievable.
Yeah, well, that's a great call. We appreciate you, Bill. He's a really neat cat. So
hey,
I have to give
one other thing real quick. I had insurance through the woman in the white dress on my boat, and because of your recommendation, I ended up getting it with the little lizard and saved well over $1,000 a year on the same coverage, which is pretty interesting as well when you don't think about shopping back and forth. Well, let me tell you, just your recommendation on what you said that you had saved money on. I did the same thing and saved even. I pay for 2 years worth of coverage now for what it cost me for one.
I think you owe me dinner.
I'm good. We'll catch it. We'll actually go catch it somewhere.
Sounds good. Bill, great call, brother. We appreciate you. Thank you for listening. All right, buddy. Good stuff. Look at us.
Saving people money. Yeah.
Helping them bludgeon people.
Giving you deer tips on your next golf outing.
Right. We're here to help. That's what we do. We help people.
You're welcome.
That's right. Exactly. We made Mahoney smile this morning by carving up deer on the golf course.
For entertainment purposes only.
Strictly only. So weather.
It's looking a little nautical. Starting. It's going to pick up a little bit tomorrow. Looks pretty nautical Monday. Tuesday should be calming down. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday looks great. Got a full moon Friday, so things should be pretty fishy second half of the work week before potentially another disturbance a weekend away. So get out there and capitalize on these weather windows today, maybe tomorrow. Definitely Wednesday through Friday look pretty fishy. Maybe Tuesday, if you can find some wind-protected shorelines, but not Monday.
Yeah, no Monday, no bueno. Got it. Reese Windows and Doors, Florida's leading window and door company. They're the reason that we do our weather updates. We appreciate them being part of the show. Free installation, most windows and doors installed in just 6 to 8 weeks. Double lifetime warranty, which is killer. In-house installers, all the good things you would want from a window and door company. Nobody does it better. Nobody's been doing it longer than our good friends at Reese Windows. Visit reesewindows.com today for more information.
And visit St. Pete Clearwater and then go home.
That's right, yes, 100%. Yeah, as a matter of fact, book a hotel stay.
It's literally in the name.
They have incredible dining in Pinellas County and in the Clearwater area. So many good restaurants, so many great hotels, incredible views on the beach.
Yeah.
But don't stay.
Yeah, that's, the important part, and I think the main reason Visit St. Pete Clearwater is partnering up with our show is it's a great staycation, right?
100%.
If you're in Hillsborough County
100%.
and you want to just escape to the beach for the weekend, there's so many great beach hotels and beach resorts and vacation rentals, and staying in downtown St. Pete is beautiful.
My wife and my family have been vacationing on St. Pete Beach for 30 years straight at the same place. When I had my meeting with them, they were like,
surprise. Are you surprised he's done the same vacation for 30 years?
We have lots of vacations, but that one's the one we really like. Our family loves that place on the beach at St. Pete Beach, man.
All right, sorry.
It's right up the
My
road
bad.
from your place. You should like it. This guy's a clown, JB. Jason Barringer. Turn his microphone off. All good stuff. Everybody have a great Saturday. Check us out tomorrow morning, 95.3 WDAE and AM 620. Going to have some great guests in studio with me. And if you're going fishing,
you're too busy to go fishing. You're just too darn busy.
And in remembrance of our good friend Captain Billy Nobles, do yourself a favor.
Take a kid fishing.
Tight lines, everybody. Have a great day. We're out.
The program was paid for by Real Animals Fishing.
Made it happen. And this week, I didn't forget the brake mics at all because I made myself a nice little handy-dandy note. So for those of you who watched the show last week, I forgot a lot. So I made myself a laminated note to make sure that I never forget. So
I think so.
Hopefully never
I also think it's very important to note that no one or nothing was injured in the production of this hideous
Not
radio
yet.
program. Yeah, it's early yet, but not yet.
Mike hasn't made it all the way home yet, so
Won't have to. I'm going
We'll
to.
see
I
if
got to
he's
go
on
to
air
Bass
tomorrow.
Pro Shop. Somebody could get bludgeoned there for sure.
yeah. Come see the new quantum stuff and chat with Mike.
Yep.
What, 9 to 1?
Yep, 9 to 1 at Bass Pro. Come see me.
All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 for Real Animal Sunday. Tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. for the live stream show. If you want a chance to win free fishing trips, join us. Y'all have a good day, and thanks for being a part of our show.
Tortured and killed by a man who lured her through social media.